Hi, Zane here. Another week, another standoff in Washington. This time, it's the 2026 federal budget, and once again, the clock is ticking. Both parties say they want to keep the government open, but neither side seems willing to give an inch. Inside Congress, debate has stalled over what to fund and what to cut. Republican lawmakers are pushing for spending rollbacks to pre-2022 levels. Democrats argue those cuts would cripple public programs that millions rely on. The tension is familiar, and so is the risk. If no deal is reached soon, parts of the government could shut down again, affecting hundreds of thousands of federal workers, delaying benefits, and shaking public trust in leadership that already feels fragile. Economists warn that even a short shutdown could ripple through the economy. Small businesses waiting on government contracts, families relying on assistance, travelers facing delays. The consequences are real, even if temporary. So what's driving this latest budget fight? It comes down to priorities and ideology. Republicans argue that the national debt, now near $37 trillion, has become an economic threat. They say the U.S. must rein in spending before interest payments alone overwhelm the budget. Democrats see it differently. They believe spending cuts now could slow growth, especially when the economy is already showing signs of fatigue. Weaker hiring, higher borrowing costs, and a cautious consumer base. One flashpoint in these talks is defense spending, nearly half of all discretionary funding. Both parties talk about supporting the military, but few agree on how to pay for it. Some progressives argue it's time to redirect a portion of that money toward domestic priorities, like infrastructure or healthcare. Conservatives respond that, with global tensions rising, from Ukraine to the South China Sea, cutting defense would be reckless. What are the political calculations here? Behind the scenes, the political stakes are enormous. No one wants to be blamed for a shutdown, especially with election season around the corner. But compromise has become politically expensive. Every concession risks backlash from party loyalists and voters watching closely. A few lawmakers have proposed a temporary extension, what's called a continuing resolution. It would buy time, but critics say these short-term fixes only delay the inevitable. Year after year, the government runs on patches instead of plans, and it's taking a toll. Let's take a look at the bigger picture. This isn't just about numbers on a spreadsheet. It's about trust, or what's left of it. Public confidence in Congress is hovering near historic lows. In recent polls, less than 1 in 5 Americans say they believe lawmakers can manage the nation's finances responsibly. For most Americans, the budget battle feels distant. But the results touch everything, from road repairs and school funding to healthcare and food security. So then what comes next? As negotiations continue, both sides are signaling small openings for compromise, but it may not be enough. The reality is, these budget standoffs have become part of Washington's routine, a cycle of brinkmanship that erodes faith in the system and stalls long-term progress. If a deal isn't reached soon, another shutdown looms. And even if one is, the larger issue remains. Can Congress govern without crisis as the default setting? Talks continue into the night as lawmakers search for a last-minute agreement to avoid a shutdown. Whether you call it politics, principle, or performance, the American public is left waiting for results. Thanks for watching. I'm Zane. Stay informed and stay engaged.